here, and give me a second.
Okay, I'm going to turn it off, though.
Yes.
Good evening, everybody. My name is, for those of you who don't know me, and there's not that many here tonight, but my name is Jeremy Elborn. I'm the executive director here at ArtSpace. I am speaking into this microphone, and you're thinking, you can't hear anything. That's because we're just doing this. We are doing an official Cordover family live stream tonight. So for Jacob's mom, I guess in Australia probably, and his wife, who is in a very small town of about 500 people near Barcelona in Catalonia. I won't say Spain. I think that would be wrong. Catalonia. Anyway, I usually don't say as much before I do my land acknowledgement. So I'm going to tonight. You are my. I was going to say victims. No, you're a test audience for me. My confession with for many years I used to be troubled by land acknowledgements. Not that I didn't believe in land acknowledgements, but they always felt hollow to me. They just felt like statements, and they didn't feel personal. And when I moved to Canmore, the connection between our indigenous neighbors and community members, and being in the mountains, and building relationships over the last 7.5 years or so, has kind of changed my perspective. And I got to the point where I've started doing land acknowledgements all the time, but they're starting to feel hollow again to me because I just read them. So, and excuse me, I'm meandering tonight, and apologies to Jacob, who's back there waiting to play and thinking, what the heck is that guy talking about? So I would like to. I'm gonna try something a little bit different. I'm edging my way towards, and I have to say, I'm very intimidated by my colleague. If those of you know her programs director here, Nicole Fougere, she gives the best land acknowledgement, and I always feel really intimidated because I'm here just reading, and I'm very proud of myself because I can say Canmore in Stony, but I do want to acknowledge that ArtSpace is located on the lands of the Treaty 7 people, which is comprised of the Blackfoot Confederacy, the Tsuut'ina Nation, the Blackfoot Confederacy comprised of the, I have to read it again, sorry, Siksika, Piikani, and Kainai, as well as the Métis Nation 3, and of course the Inyahe, the Stoney Nakoda people, which is comprised of the Bearspaw, Chiniki, and now the Good Stoney First Nation. So it used to be Wesley, it's changed to Good Stoney. I don't know if you knew that. And I'm actually going to steal something from my own strategic plan, but as all good managers do, I hired somebody smarter than me to actually write the words. And this was actually written, we hired someone called Jenny Spur. I don't know if you know her. She used to work at the BAM Center, for those of you who are connected to the BAM Center. And she wrote, which is in our strategic plan, the Canmore area known as Chonchemchen Kudebi has been a gathering place for generations, countless storytellers, artists, of it, but we'll get there eventually. And it is with great irony that I would also like to thank the government of Canada for who also support. I am very grateful to them because they do support live performances here through the Department of Heritage. So that is a sincere, if ironic, thank you to them as well too. And we also have an anonymous donor who supports live classical music here at Arts Place and has done for a number of years. I also look out into this audience and I see a number of people that are incredibly generous in supporting Arts Place, and a lot of people, especially who support the live performances and music that we do here. So, a big thank you to everyone who does that. It's a cliche, but we honestly could not do what we do without you. So, thank you so much. We also have, for those of you who don't know, if you are classical music fans, we do have a new classical music subscription season. So check out our website. If you buy seats next week, you get priority seating. So I hope you can do that. We also have a number of other subscription series. We have a folk series, folk and roots series. We have a jazz and blues series, and we have a world music or global roots series as well too. So check out our website. Buy tickets. Thank you. I think I have said more than enough. It's a great pleasure to have Jacob back. This is actually the third time he's performed here at Arts Place. Thanks, Nan. I think probably a number of you probably know Jacob or have met Jacob or have crossed paths with him. He came to this area first, I think, through, like many people, through coming and as an artist at the Banff Centre. He met his wife at the Banff Centre as well too, and they now live in Catalonia. So I'm hoping that he will tell you much more about himself, and he's going to have lots of stories to tell, and he plays incredibly beautiful music, so you're in for a great treat. Please welcome Jacob Cordover.
Thank you very much. It is a pleasure to be and to play again at Art Space. It is, in all seriousness, one of my favorite spots to play in the world. It's a wonderful theater and has a wonderful sound, and I've always had such a great time with such a warm audience. And like I did last time when I came here, I actually designed my program for the entire tour here in Canada and other concerts I have in Spain with this theater in mind, for you people in mind as well. So, thank you. And it is really just a beautiful space to play in, and really very fortunate. As Jeremy said, you know, I've been coming to this part of the world for a long time, and I've met some very dear friends, people including our great sound engineer, Mitz here, who I met also at the Banff Centre, and so it is always a pleasure to come back and share my music with you all. So those first two pieces were put together perhaps in a way that they wouldn't normally have been put together. The first piece was by a Czech Baroque composer, Jan Antonín Lossi, and then the second was by a French Baroque composer, Robert de Diviset. And the first piece was written for lute and the second for theorbo, but they're both wonderful pieces of music, and they make fabulous arrangements for guitar. But we're going to move forward now, not just in time, but in style. And we're going to move to the music of Cuba for the next little bit. I'm going to play these next three pieces as a set as well, so if you wouldn't mind just holding your applause until the end of that set, even though I will have some tuning between the second and third pieces. But the first piece is called Mirándote, and is a beautiful piece by a Cuban composer, Eduardo Martín. Mirándote means looking at you in Spanish, and it was written after the birth of his son. And the idea is Eduardo Martín was looking down at his newborn, and this piece of music came to him. I'm going to follow that with a piece by Leo Brouwer, a great Cuban composer. This is an early work of his, and a piece that is actually in many ways more like more in the style of a piano Chopin prelude or something. It's actually quite different from the rest of his guitar music, but it's nevertheless a very beautiful and simple seeming, well, seemingly simple piece. And it's from a suite in D major, but I'm just going to be playing that prelude. And then to close that set, I'll be playing a piece by Toru Takemitsu, who was a Japanese composer, and in fact a very good friend of Leo Brouwer. And Toru Takemitsu was again a fascinating composer. He wrote a lot of some of the most well-known and well-liked contemporary music. It's very beautiful and very colorful, but often can be hard to access. His music was very dense. But he also really loved popular music and American pop music and English pop music, and he wrote a lot of film scores and choir pieces and other music that is really not at all like his classical music, but is nevertheless full of amazing color and texture and very beautiful. And so I'll be playing an arrangement that was actually made by another guitarist, a guitarist by the name of Shinichi Fukuda, who arranged this piece that was originally for choir, but works very well even though it was for 4 parts, choir in 4 parts. It was made in this arrangement for solo guitar. And the piece is called To the Island, and it's just a very beautiful, sweet love song, really, where the author is writing, or the singers are singing about, hopefully one day you and I can both meet together at the island and be happily ever after. It's very sweet music. My guitar is a Spanish-made guitar and is not used to being up so high. a little dry. Anyway, so Mirándote, followed by the prelude in D, and then to the island. for everything that I will play. This comes through. And the piece is called Hinchinbrook Riffs. Hinchinbrook is just the neighborhood where he was living. So it doesn't really have any other significance than that. Thank you. So I moved to Spain in about 2006 or so. And I moved to Barcelona, and very early on I started working with the Association of Catalan Composers. And basically, not every year, but every couple of years, at the beginning of the season, they write to all of their members and they say, we're going to have a guitar concert, or a guitar and flute concert, or guitar and cello, or whatever. And people in their association, various composers who are registered, write pieces and I premiere them. And I've done this on a number of occasions. And sometimes they have collaborations with other musical associations. And so in one concert, I was also premiering a piece by a Russian composer who had an affiliation with the association. And that's actually how I came across this next piece of music, which is called Cañera. It's written by a guitarist born in Seville, by the name of José María Gallardo del Rey. And he's a wonderful, wonderful guitarist. And I first heard him in Canberra, actually. He came out and played the Aranjuez concerto with the orchestra and gave some master classes when I was about 18 or 19. And I didn't realize that he was a composer until I was in Spain and part of the association. And I get an email. I don't have any contact with the composers themselves until just before the performances when we start to work on the pieces. And they said, oh, this year we're having an association with the Galician Guitar, or the Galician Composers Association, and José María lives in Galicia. And this piece came about, and I was so excited to see it because it's a beautiful piece of music, and it led me to a world of discovering his other compositions, which are also fabulous. And his music is very, it's very beautiful and very, it's very Spanish in a lot of ways. You can't help but notice that he's from Sevilla, because every now and then there's just a little flamenco riff that pops out and reminds us where he's from. And it's a piece that was actually written about his puppy. When he got a dog, he fell in love with his puppy, and so he wrote this really beautiful piece of music, which is kind of lilting in a 6/8 rhythm that is typical of the popular music in Galicia, and it changes characters, but basically it's just about the love of his puppy. And some of you, actually, who I've spoken to recently might know that I myself got a puppy just recently. Actually, Laura and I, well, a puppy kind of fell into our laps. And so we have also a 3-month-old puppy, so I can relate to this piece of music perhaps better now than ever before. Thank you. That brings us, sadly, to the end of our program for this evening. Just got one more piece on the program. But before I introduce that, I would just like to take this moment to thank ArtSpace and Jeremy Elborn, especially for having us, for having me here. It is, as I said, a real joy to be back here. And so thank you very much to ArtSpace and for everyone involved in putting this concert on. I would also like to say thank you very much to Martin Mitz Finnerty over here, our wonderful sound engineer and lighting. Thank you, Martin. I met Mitz 20 odd years ago at the Banff Centre, and it is it's great to be able to come back and work with people who you can trust and know will provide you with the sounding and lighting. And I tend to get lost in the dark and nobody can hear me without people like Mitz, so thank you very much. Also thank you to Susan for looking after me all week. I really appreciate that. I'll leave you with a piece that I first fell in love with and started playing back in the late 90s, just after it was written. It's by an American by the name of Andrew York. Actually, it was written before that, but he paired an introduction with it. It's a piece called Sunburst, and Andrew York is an American guitarist who worked for many years with the Los Angeles Guitar Quartet, and has a style of composition which kind of bridges steel string folk music and classical guitar. It's a wonderful piece that, as I said, he added an introduction to. He took another piece that was called Jubilation and paired it. And it's just another fun, wonderful, beautiful piece of music, because really what I was hoping to do, having lived through the pandemic like we all did, is it's nice to play nice music, and so that's what tonight was really all about, playing nice music. Vale, de acuerdo. Haremos otro. Okay. Just because you asked so nicely. Demanded, really. I mean, if we're going to be honest. Thank you very much. I'll leave you with a little bit of Jobim arranged by Roland Diaz. I believe the words are something along the lines of, sadness has no ending, but happiness does.